Well, the culture of Miami is, is so Ocean Drive, the Live, Tootsie's, KOD, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted people to see the truth of the city of Miami, because when I go down Miami, I got people there, I go to outside the Ocean Drive, and I noticed that, this is not being spoken, So that was inspiring enough for me, you know what I'm saying? After Chicago, there was a lot of praises for Chicago. I wanted to capture cities where people, touristy, go down there, like Chicago, Miami, or New York. They see the buildings, the tourists, Times Square, but they don't see, like, Bed-Stuy, you know what I'm saying, or Hollis, you know what I mean? So I want to show people, that there's other parts in the cities.
Nice. Did a good job.
Thank you.
Jay. Oh, go ahead. Hi, my name's Hillary. Nice to meet you. So you got a lot of shit for the last DVD, the last documentary that you did, regarding not paying attention to the young ladies in Chicago, right? So I was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna go see this thing in Miami. There gotta be some chicks, right? Like more than just ass out of the back.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's kind of what I saw. So I'm curious if you have something else coming that will maybe speak to that, or is that just sort of the Worldstar hip hop brand, like just news?
Well, I mean, we're trying to, capture, all genders, females, males. But the thing is, our producer, Marquise, he captured the moments of, the cities, inner cities, and, we got these artists out there that have a voice, so it can be more than just, someone's story. They like, these people are artists that's trying to come up, and, this is pretty much what we just came across these artists here, but I promise you next time we're gonna get more. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. My name's Jason. Congratulations again for your project. You mentioned something, the young lady mentioned something about Chicago. I just, not to blend worlds, but I guess it does make sense. Common just, had an album that comes out, called No One Is Smiling or No One Is Smiling. He kind of depicts some of the violence that's going on in Chicago and speaks to it. Is there like some kind of synergy that you think needs to go through all artists? Because even though it's Miami, but you're focusing on the outskirts of Miami, for lack of a better word right now, it seems like things like this are happening in all cities, and you feel like it's your responsibility to connect these worlds. So if I'm from Chicago and you're from Miami, it's important to say, nah, we're not from the same place, but we're going through the same things. Is there some kind of like low-key inspiration that's happening like that as well?
I mean, yeah, coming from Hollis, Queens, saying I was, seeing Run DMC, El Cool J drive by my neighborhood, and, I feel like our voices aren't being heard, like the inner city voices aren't being heard, and if someone can make it out there and come back and just spread a little love, it helps everyone, you know what I'm saying? So me making out of Hollis, Queens, and having the power to do what I'm doing, entertain the world with, with videos and documentary now, I think it's, just the beginning stages. I'm new to this, I'm learning, you know what I'm saying, as, it's our second field documentary, so we're looking to do more, and it's going to keep getting better and better, and I feel like it's our job to continue that.
Hi,
Hi.
Shannon. You started, well, I can't say you started because I don't know 100% how Worldstar started, but I was familiar with Worldstar as being a place where content was just aggregated, it was just submitted or whatnot, so it wasn't your own. And what I see with this and with the previous Chicago piece is that you're starting to make content, and the type of content that you're making reminds me of a harder edge, more authentic state Vice. And so is that not the model that you're looking to replicate, but is that a source of inspiration? And if so, beyond documentaries, do you plan to do anything concerning, on the ground, like news type content, or, what's next?
I mean, we did Pass the Keys documentary for drunk drivers, but people doing drunk driving, and we felt like we want to do more documentaries to help, what's going on in the communities and what's going on with the youth. So, we don't just want to have people just looking at us as a shock value website. We want to show another side, another chapter of us, because, we like to, pretty much put out the good, the bad, and the ugly of what's happening, but we also want to put out things that inspire people to, do good and just think twice, because things like this been happening before Camera Phone, before Worldstar, and I feel like, you know, it's our job as leaders to, you know, put a voice out there as well to show people there's also a flip side as well. It's not just, you know, street fighting or, you know, girls dancing in strip clubs. There's also girls going to school and not going that route and, you know, becoming successful in this you know, hard field. Like, you know, because, you know, as a minority, you know, as a black man, you know, we're a step back, and as a black woman, you're 2 steps back. So I felt that, and I'm working on doing more documentaries to put people's voices out and let them be heard. I felt like, you know, it's my job as, you know, as the leader of Worldstar, and, you know, I feel like I have to do that. So I've been doing that for a long time. We're doing our 2nd annual backpack in Hollis, Queens in a couple of weeks. You know, that's my inspiration to get back to the kids, doing like 10,000 backpacks. And if you guys want to show up, come, Coliseum. So we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot. You know, this is the beginning, and, you know, I know I get a lot of heat for who I am, and, you know, so I know when they come out and say, "Get out of my pocket." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, from my G, like, yo. So, you know, I know comes when you're number one, you're gonna get pointed at, and you're gonna get blamed for everything. I take the heat. You know what I mean? Point at me all day long. You know what I'm saying? But I know my heart is where what's important, and not everybody can see that. So that's what I know who I am, and I know that, you know, I try my best to, you know, give back. You know what I'm saying? If it's just simple quotes on Instagram, Twitter, or whatever, or, you know, doing documentaries like The Field or Pass the Keys, and, you know, I try to keep that up. You know, that's very important to me.
Last 2 questions.
Hi, I'm Justin from Complex. I don't know how close together the production schedules were for the Chicago piece and the Miami piece, but was there any specific feedback from the Chicago, or feedback on the Chicago piece that you all specifically incorporated into this, or are there just anything in the Miami documentary that you feel was stronger and than in the original Chicago piece?
So the Chicago, we didn't have no producer. We have this Miami. We picked up a very good producer, Marquise. He did a lot of the 30 for 30 for ESPN, so that helped us a lot. So it looks more, you know, well edited and looks like a good storyline. And it felt very inspirational watching it, like on the big screen. I watched it many times on the laptop or phone. So but the Miami piece definitely has more into it, more production. We have more videographers and photographers, so it was a lot more into the Miami piece. And our next one, we're doing in Memphis. So with Memphis, we're going to look to make it even bigger. And we're going to just hit, you know, every key cities, you know, Philadelphia, New York, eventually LA. Just want to get people's voices heard, because, like I said, CNN and Fox don't come out there and do that. But, you know, if someone get beat up or shot, they'll put it up. So I think it's our job to, you know, as leaders of Worldstar Hip Hop, to, you know, continue doing our news feed, but also put the voices out of the hoods and what's happening in a positive way.
Speaking of like the positivity, what more are you doing to, you know, you were saying you were doing the 10,000 book bags in Queens, and, you know, you're doing the documentaries. What more can you do as far as positivity? Because everyone knows Worldstar is for, you know, negative fighting and stuff. So yeah. How can you change the positive outlook and still maintain that brand that you're trying to accomplish and everything?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're known for being no filter, you know what I'm saying? So that's why our audience grew so organically, because we're a site that kept it real, you know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of hip-hop. I'm 40, and I love hip-hop. So I was there since the birth, you know what I'm saying? So what made me love hip-hop was the real authenticity of it, like the sex, violence, you know, the fights, you know, the battles, all that. So that's one thing I wanted Worldstar to be, you know, 'cause I know growing up, I mean, watching digital websites in the early 2000s, it was more just, you know, this candy-coated, you know, Q&As with artists, and I wanted the real stuff. So I felt like the real stuff that's out there was on the DVDs. So to transform the DVDs to a web source was a good way to just put those voices heard, and like people will just grab onto it because it's real. And I know that if we want to continue doing positive stuff, we gotta also show the good as well, not just the bad. And that's my job, you know, saying as a leader of the company, is to, you know, do more documentaries and keep showing positive stuff of what's happening, as well as inspirational stuff for the youth, because I know they're watching us, what we do, And, you know, just like cable TV, you can watch Family Guy or watch, you know, Little Dora. You know what I'm saying? So I want people to get a balance of, yeah, you have to control the mics in your hand or remotes in your hand, but, you know, I want them to also have another option besides watching fights and girls shaking.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.